Hey guys, I feel like the camera seems so far away today, like nothing's changed, but it just seems like it's a lot further away than it normally is, which is very strange. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, so recently I've been requested to do a brow tutorial. Now, I don't really think of myself as very good at brows, but people have been asking how I do them. So I'm going to show you, but this isn't, I don't want you guys to be like, why are you doing a brow tutorial when your brows look like ass? But the thing is, this is just something that's been requested, so I'm just doing this for those that have requested that I do this video. So I use 3 products for brows. I use a brow pomade, a concealer, and then a brow gel. So first I'll just run through my favorite brow products to use. Now this is going to be a pomade tutorial. I don't use brow pencils. I think I'm just always going to be a brow pomade girl. So yeah, so I have 5 brow pomades that I really love. Probably my holy grail is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow. This is also the most expensive of the 5. I have mine in the shade medium brown, but this is just one that I found 2 years ago and I've loved ever since. But I have some more affordable, cheaper options. Actually, I think the Savannah Rose Cosmetics one might be the most expensive. Savannah Rose Cosmetics is like a smaller brand from Australia, New South Wales, I think. Don't get me wrong. I might be wrong. I mean, don't quote me. I think this one might be a bit more expensive. You know how smaller brands usually are a bit more expensive because it's different to being a big worldwide brand, if that makes sense. So yeah, another one that I love is the Savannah Rose Cosmetics one. This is one that I have found recently and I've really been loving it. This one is in the shade soft brown. Then my cheaper options, I have Morphe, Colourpop and Chi Chi. So these are how the 3 of them look. The first one I'll talk about is the Chi Chi. I have mine in the shade dark brown. This is a total Anastasia Dip Brow dupe. It's amazing. The Colourpop one is really good. Mine is in the shade black and brown, and it's just a really good cheap brow pomade. Really super creamy. But yeah, probably I think it's like less than 20 bucks, so it's really good. And then the last one is the Morphe brow cream in Java. This one is amazing. You can get this in a pack with like a brow pencil, a brow brush, a brow gel, and like a highlighter stick, and it's like $27. So that's like insane value. But yeah, all of these brow gels, brow pomades, I can't fault them. They're all amazing. But today I think I'm going to go in with my Dip Brow in medium brown. So let me just zoom you in. Okay. So the very first thing that I do before I even put any product on my brows is I like to brush them through. If I have any stray hairs, I'll usually pluck them. So they're not too bad. I plucked them like a couple days ago, but there's just one here that's annoying me. Try to pluck them. I haven't gotten them waxed in a while. I really need to. Just haven't really had the time or the spare money because it's just been Christmas. And like 30 bucks doesn't sound like much, but when it could be going towards a Christmas present, you know? Okay. So, brush through them and make sure there's no stray hairs. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to run my brush through the pomade, and then I'm going to start about middle of my brow. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw a line where I want my brow to go. So just like that. Then I'm just going to take my brush through the pomade once more, and I'm going to match that line on the top. Just in focus. I'm going to match that line on the top, and I'm just going to do the same thing. Just draw where I want it to go, and then match it up at the bottom. Like that. Now we have an outline. Now I'm going to dip back my brush once more, and we're going to start colouring that in. So I usually just take it in long strokes, starting there, bringing it down to the bottom of the brow, And then if I need some more pomade, I could just dip back in again. But now we have our tail. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to run off pretty much all of the product on my brow brush, and then I'm going to start like here, like halfway towards the front of my brow, and then go back. Start blending it, and then I'm going to go to the front. And we can see that line there. Then I'm going to start about halfway there and keep brushing it. I'm not going to fill in the top front bit of my brow. Now I'm just going to start running it through with whatever's left on my brush, and then we get to the very start, I'm just going to do some upward strokes. So now I have this. Now this isn't the finished brow because we're going to carve it out. So if it because this doesn't look good, so if yours doesn't look good at this point either, don't stress, we're going to carve it out. What I'm going to do quickly now is just do the other one off camera, and then I'll come back and we can carve it out and stuff. Okay, so if I was going to use a coloured brow gel, now is the time that I would do it. So I have two coloured brow gels that I really like. I like the Anastasia one when I've got this kind of brow going on, you know, something that's I'm going to carve out and then it's going to be quite sculpted. And I like the Benefit Gimme Brow for like a kind of more natural brow, but this still works like if you've got this kind of brow going on as well. So I don't need a coloured brow gel today because they're filled in like quite a bit, they're fine. But yeah, if you wanted something more, this is when I would do a coloured brow gel, because then if there's any mistakes, you can just fix it up with concealer. So the next thing we're going to do now is conceal the brows. Okay, so let me just zoom you back in. So I only have one concealer that I really like to use to do this. I don't know. Anyway, mine is the Colourpop No Filter Concealer in Light 10. This is my favouriteest concealer ever for carving out my brows. So, you're going to need a flat tip brush, like this. Just a straight one. Then I just usually grab a little bit of concealer and then, you know, wipe off the excess because we only really need a small bit. So I usually start at the very front of my brow because that's where I want to make the, you know, I want everything to match to the start of my brow. And then I'll just bring it along. This is where I can really clean up that edge, that tail, sorry, and make that, you know, and we just blend it down so we don't have a whole line of concealer. And that's the underbrow. Then we do the exact same thing for the top. Grab a little bit of concealer. With the top of the brow, because we didn't fill in this part, I'm gonna start on the arch bit, because otherwise if I start down here, I'll end up cutting half the brow off because there's no line up here to indicate. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I'll start just here. And I'll do the tail first. This is where I can really clean up that tail. And you can see that already looks a lot better. And then, yeah, I usually drag it across. Oh my god, this doesn't normally happen. Okay. So this is how the brow looks, and then you compare it to the other one and you can see just how it looks a lot cleaner and a lot sharper. So then we'll do the same thing over the other side. This brow over here is a little bit of a mess today. I don't know why. So it'll be nice to clean it up. But yeah, just a little bit of concealer really does help to clean it up. Brows are also something that you need to practice a lot and find your own personal shape. Everyone's brows look different, obviously, duh. So you know what might look good for my brows might not look good for yours. So this is something that you need to play around with and kind of find out your own shape and whatnot. And then you can come back and perfect that line if you need. Okay. So now that the brows are carved out, we're going to set them in place with some brow gel. I have two favourite ones. I have the Benefit 24-Hour Brow Setter and I have the Anastasia one. Personally, my all-time favourite would have to be the Anastasia one because this just makes your brows bulletproof. It locks them in for life pretty much, but the Benefit one is really good as well. So I usually brush up and then along. So I brush all of the hairs up like that and then brush them along at the top so that they sit back down, but so they look nice and full, and then that'll set them in place. So that is the way that I do my brows. Hopefully this was helpful for you guys. As I said, I'm not the best at brows. I feel like my brows could use a little bit of work, but I have had so many requests for me to do this video, so yeah, I hope it was helpful for you guys. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!